Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. Today I'm taking part in the Project Share blog hop with my lovely friends Jez of nigeza.co.uk, Jill of paperdaisycrafting.co.uk and Verity of inkybutterfly.com. Our theme for this month is leaves and trees. So this is the card that I have made and will be showing you how to make. I'm using the Beauty of Friendship stamp set along with the Beautiful Trees dies, and I've forgotten what the paper is called. It is Beauty of the Earth Designer Series paper, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Loads of lovely designs on that. That one will be absolutely gorgeous for a Christmas card, so watch this space for that one. Lovely autumnal ones and lovely bright greens as well. So beautiful pack of paper. I was actually very fortunate and won the Beauty of Friendship stamp set and the coordinating Beautiful Trees dies, of which I am using most of them for this card, so they're already out the back. I won that in a Putler's colour challenge, so it's even nicer when products are free. So I've been itching to use them, knew that this blog hop was coming up, and thought I would save them for that. And then I received this card for my birthday from a lovely friend, Jill Harrop, who lives in the Scottish borders, so is miles away. And we used to craft together regularly, but unfortunately due to COVID that's not been, we've not been able to do that for such a long time, which is such a shame. So yeah, this is the beautiful fold that Jill sent me, so I thought I would be inspired by that, just as I am truly inspired by the lovely ladies that I am blog hopping with today. So I do hope you will click on the link below to go over to my blog, and then you'll be able to hop around the other 3 blogs to get more leaves and trees inspiration. So enough talking, let's start making. And I'm going to do exactly the same as this one. Normally I would, or often I would change up the colours, but I really love this one, so I'm making 2. So this is Cinnamon Cider. I've got a full sheet of A4 here. And bringing in my paper trimmer, you won't be able to see it all, but would help if I turn it the right way round. And I am lining that up at 10.5 centimetres and cut that. And then score that at 14.5 centimetres. And this is the normal card base that I make. So if you normally make a different card base, then just go ahead with what you normally do and just adjust the sizes accordingly. Okay, so I've now got 10.5 by 14.5. With the other piece left over, I'm going to trim that down to 10. And then I'm going to score that at 14. Do the same again, fold it over, line it back up at 14 and trim that off. Okay, now, so I've now got 2 card bases, one slightly smaller than the other. This one is going to go on like so, with the open end here. So I want to butt that up there and then just simply take my bone folder and and I've got that neatly folded in half. It's going to get covered with a piece of designer series paper in a moment. So that's all the cutting for the 2 bits of my card base. Easy. I've also done the cutting for the designer series paper. So the sheet that I'm using is 12 by 12, and I cut off a 10 centimetre strip. I then cut that at 14 centimetres there, flipped it around and took 6.5 centimetres off there and another 6.5 centimetres off there. So I am left with, where are we? There, and I've got this piece spare. I don't need that at all. So for my other card, on the inside, I just added a little strip of that down the bottom as well. So it makes sure that when you open it all the way, oops, sorry about that. When you open it all the way out, you've got a continuous pattern on this piece that's the same as on that piece there. That's just the sort of detail I like. But obviously if you're using a different paper, then you'll have a different effect. So this piece is going to cover the entirety of that bit there. So let me just glue that on. There you go. And using wet glue means you can slide it around a little, make sure you've got that perfectly lined up, so you've nothing overlapping at the back. Okay, let me just do these bits as well. So I'm using the boulder pattern at the bottom. Pop that on, so there's a, actually, I think I've got that wrong. I should have taken a bit off the edge of that. With that one I had a border all the way around. Now I've just got a border at the top and the bottom. Doesn't matter. I will put the correct measurements in my blog post for the original version. I could have taken it off and trimmed it, but then I would have got glue all over my paper trimmer, which I really hate, because then I have to clean it. Nobody needs that. There's plenty of other things in life that need to be cleaned without having to clean your paper trimmer to get glue off. So just adding glue to the back of that piece, and that is going to go on just as it would do if you were doing a card layer, which is pretty much what it's like. So I've got as if it's just one layer on there. Okay, and that folds up and these bits line up nice and neatly on this one. Okay, so next step is to do some die cutting, and I've got another piece of cinnamon cider to cut these 2 trees. I have already stamped the sentiment of changing it up to hello, and there's a little die that will cut that one out. I've got a piece of this gorgeous designer series paper that I'm going to cut with that die for the smaller tree, and I've got a larger piece that I'm going to cut with this die and also with this die. Okay, so I'm going to do them both together. I've already die cut a couple of the little birds, that one's early espresso and that one is cinnamon cider. I've got a blank die cut of that as well, which I'll show you in a moment. So I'm just going to die cut all of that and I'll be back with you in a second. All right, so got my tree dies. Now I just find it a little bit easier to just take off some of those bits so they don't get tangled as I go. There we are. How neat is that? So we've got 2 trees. We need tree tops now. I've got this one, which can fit on just like that. And then this one it's a bit strange because you've got a cutting action on the inner edge of that one, which cuts it out from your paper. But obviously there's a cutting edge on this piece as well. So I'm now going to get lots of little pieces out of this. So bear with me a moment. Okay, so I really like this, that you can see the tree through it. So I wanted my tree for the front to be similar to that. So I'm going to use this die again once I've cleaned it. And I'm just going to put this piece on like that. All right, and run that through my die cutting machine. So I'll be back a sec. All right, so my piece here, when I take that off, get rid of that actually. Trying to get it to come out. There we go. So that now looks more like the top part of that one. And I can just add that on there. What I did with the other one was that I added a piece of white on there. And it really depends on where you do your die cutting, whether you actually need or will have much white showing. So actually what I did with the other one was I just added some detail around the outside. No, I didn't use the... Actually, I did. What I did... Sorry, I did this a few days ago. And what I did was take one of the 2 stamps. Doesn't matter which one. And just stamp that over there. Again, doesn't have to be perfect because it's only going to be in the background there. And then with my sponge daubers, I just stippled some extra colour, mainly around the edges. With Mary Merlot and Mossy Meadow. because those are the greens that are in that designer series paper. So this is just an extra step that's not really needed, but I just thought it made it tie in with the other tree just that little bit better, and then forgot that that's what I'd done. Okay, so now when I put that over there and then that on top, it ties in a lot better, doesn't it? Okay, so just need to assemble those trees. And let me just put these dies back where they should be before I forget and then have to hunt for them. Okay, get rid of all of these little bits and then we can assemble. I am going to use a silicone mat. And I'm going to use my little bottle of glue that I decanted from my multi-purpose glue. So just pop in that on there. So that's in the background, and then this is going to be in the foreground. And again, just adding little bits of glue around the edges and pop that on top. I like that. Nice. So that one's ready. And this one I found was easier to do on the card. So I'll add my glue. Again, this might actually be better if you used the adhesive sheets. Add that to the back of your card before you do your die cutting, and then you don't have to worry about all these silly little bits. You just need to take the backing off and then you've got yourself a giant sticker. So I want this to be near the top, fairly central, like so. Whoopsie, don't do that. There. Got that firmly attached. And then do the same, add glue to this outside piece. Just gives it a nice defined edge rather than just having the die cut bit on there. I think it looks nicer when you've got that defined edge on it. But again, it's all personal preference. No right or wrong with this. So you could take a bit more time than me and just add your glue, whoopsie, around the outside, pop, get rid of that just now, pop that on so that you're covering the top where you want it, and then add glue to the inner piece. There we go. And then that slots in there, but like a jigsaw. There we are. Love that. Okay, that's that one. This one I'm going to add there, so I just want to add some glue to the bottom part. Like so. And then to finish off, I added some ribbon. Oh, I've forgotten to put my little birdies in the trees. These are so sweet, so sweet. I'll put one up near the top and him in there. They're almost hidden in there, so a nice little extra feature. And I've got some of this beautiful gold shimmer ribbon, and I just want to put a piece over there like that. Get my snips. Okay, and I want to tie a bow with another piece, and I'll stick the bow over that. It's beautiful ribbon. Just a little bow. That should do. Might need to trim that a little bit more in a moment. So this ribbon is pretty much exactly the same as the width of my tearing tape, and I'm not that accurate, so it only needs a little bit to keep it in place. I'll just use some here. So I've actually cut little strips that will hold it in place but are narrower than the ribbon, so I don't have to be precise when I am lining that ribbon up. I think that might be a little bit too wide again. Is it? Oh no, that's perfect. Okay, so take the backing off that. Always trickier when they're smaller pieces. And then pop that on like so. I've got the hello that I stamped with Mary Merlot ink, die cut, and that's just a little piece of cinnamon cider, which was 2.5 centimetres by 4.5 centimetres, and gives a nice big border around that. I'm going to pop that on with a couple of dimensionals. Pop that on over the ribbon and about there, and then I've got my ribbon bow to add on with glue dots. Like so. Pop that on there, and I can just trim that ribbon, the tails down a little bit. You come out. There we go. Pop you back under. Lovely. So that's how I made my card, inspired by my friend Jill Harrop. And oh, I've forgotten bling. I had bling on this one, and these are from the Elegant Faceted Gems. And I've got my pick tool here somewhere. There it is. So pop one up there. Oh, one across my table. Another one there, and then I can pop a larger one on this sentiment, and there we go. Two beautiful trees and leaves inspired cards. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please do just subscribe and click on that bell to get notified of my next tutorial. And please do remember, click on the description bar below to get a link to my blog and hop around to see what Jez, Verity and Jill have all created to inspire you too. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next time, take care. Bye bye.